Well, thank you for coming back on my show, Ronan. Um, you've been doing a lot of work lately. So let's
Yes.
start off with Dhar Man, of course. And you did a lot of episodes on Dhar Man. You played on episode 9, season 9, episode 118. You played, that the title is Boys Trying to Poison His Teacher. And of course, that was aired in July the 21st, 2022. So can you tell some people about that a little bit, episode?
So the poisoning episode was pretty fun. It was my first Dhar Man episode, and I met quite a few friends. Winston, he's on Dhar Man as well. We really had fun together. Really immediately hit it off as friends. He showed me around the entire set and everything, because, like I said, that was completely new. And honestly, it was a super fun experience. Allison, who played my mom, Allison Robertson, she she actually just happens to live next to us, not too far. So it was super fun. I'm still in contact with all of them. And unfortunately, actually, fortunately, I joined the union, and unfortunately, that means since Dhar Man is non-union, I can't do Dhar Man anymore. But I can definitely say that Dhar Man was a really, really fun experience for sure.
And yeah, for you being on set of Dhar Man is in a wonderful environment. There's, so many people on set. Of course, that's where you met Caden and a lot of people on set, and you can also correct me, you got to meet Miss Rebecca. I can't think of her last name, but you have a picture of her, Miss Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Thank you, Miss
Ritz.
Rebecca Ritz.
Yes.
Yeah, she's been on my show, and she's so funny, amazing. She talks about Dhar Man and all the stuff that goes behind the scenes, and it's just unbelievable the stuff she talks about. But now let's talk about your recent film with Caden. Of course, I don't know if you can talk much about it. Maybe you can, maybe you cannot. But you're in a recent film called Roswell. I'm sorry, I'm so bad at name. Delirium, is that correct?
Delirium, yes.
Delirium.
Delirium.
You have, of course, you have Caitlin that played Becky. You have you, of course, that played Jeremiah Miller. Of course, you have Kylie that played That was Mayday Malloran. And then, of course, you have Caden, and you have Anthony Michael that played Mr. Hall, and the list goes on and on.
So many people. Georgia, Rick Bakewell, the director.
Right. The behind the scenes, everything. So talk a little details about where was this filmed at, and what's this little story behind the background?
So unfortunately I can't say too much about the actual movie, but for the background, it was filmed here in California, various different places, some desert, some city, some places that just looks like a giant tin soup can, but like, those places that like look like a soup can that you just flipped it and then just cut it in half. Yeah,
right.
There was a place like that on a super hot day, so that place got super hot. But yeah, behind the scenes, everyone's just super nice on most every set. All the sets I've been on so far, and every movie and set that I've gone off of I've ended up leaving with more than just friends, like family. And that's what happens with Roswell and everything else. So honestly, Roswell was just, I think Roswell had the most laughs of any set that I've ever been on. Everyone is hilarious. Rick Bakewell, which I talked about quite a bit last time. He is one funny guy. And yeah, everyone was just insanely talented. The work that goes into everyone was working nonstop, hard work. When, obviously there was times when we were joking around and playing, but when it was go time, everyone was just on it, looking at their scripts, everything. So it felt like I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like a place you would want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like a place.
Right. No, I totally understand. It was just how to describe it. was just, it's like, well, I just saw the trailer. I haven't seen the film, of course, because it's not out. But it's, the trailer looks amazing. You guys are sitting in a classroom. I see it was behind the scenes. You guys are all laughing and everything. Now, of course, this is not. I know this is not. This is a fact, but this is not your first time working with Caden. So this is, how many times have you worked with Caden? Of course, this is your third time.
So no, this this actually was my first, I think.
Okay.
Caden was, so we were supposed to meet on Dhar Man, but
Uh-huh.
actually me, Kylie, Georgia, Caden, and MG, who plays another character in the film, we all were supposed to meet on a Dhar Man that coincidentally we all turned down for the movie. So we ended up meeting each other either way. And like I said, right off the bat, just really fun. But yeah, that was the first time I worked with Kaden. I was supposed to work with her again on another short. I can't say much about it either, but I was supposed to work with her again, but unfortunately well, fortunately and unfortunately, I keep on saying that, don't I?
That's okay.
But I was out of town. I was back in Oregon at my house, so I had to turn it down, unfortunately.
Right. And so did you all know, each one of you, Caden, everybody else, especially you, did you all know you guys turned down the Dhar Man and being on set, or was it like a surprise, like you didn't know?
Yeah, no, it was a surprise. So Rick came into the room and he asked, just a regular question. He was like, "So what have you guys been up to?" And I said I'm been in Dhar Man lately. I just actually for the movie had to turn down a Dhar Man. And then everyone else started popping up. They're like, "Oh really? I had to too. What was the name of it?" And then so we started naming it, and everyone was like, "Oh really? Oh my gosh. I was literally just about to film that one. I turned it down for this too." And that was I mean, it was a really funny and coincidental thing, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
That is amazing, of course. And you got to work with, Caden, and you got to work
Yes.
with Kylie, and Anthony, looking at my notes, but Anthony Michael, and then you got to play with Ashton, who was Firefly. Her character was Firefly. So all these people that you worked on this Roswell, these names are standing out. But for you to work with all these, especially with Caden, it's just, by looking at the behind the scenes videos, you guys are all laughing and joking and just getting along. And it did seem hot because the sun was shining and like everything. So how hot was it?
I don't exactly remember, and if I say something and someone from the Roswell Delirium thing is watching, I am a kid, so if I over exaggerate, it's probably to be expected. But it was like, some days it was just in the 90s, others, I believe there was a few days, like like one or two or three days that were over 100 degrees, and one of those days was when I wasn't there, but one of the days was when they were filming in that tin can. So and then there, as you can see in the trailer, there's like those huge suits that are like completely rubber. So it was, yeah, I can't imagine how it
Wow.
was, but yeah, it was some pretty hot days.
Wow. And then of course, when is the film coming out?
So I'm actually really excited for this. So the film is coming out. It's supposed to come out this summer in August. So I'm super, super excited about
And
that.
where can people watch it?
Um, I unfortunately can't say
Okay.
because as of right now, I'm completely blanking.
Okay.
So I can't say right now, but if it comes to me, I'll tell you.
Let me know. We'll let the audience know. Now, of course, I'm a big, huge fan of this show. It's Criminal Minds.
Oh yeah.
And of course I brought this up because I watch it almost every day from beginning of season 1, episode 1. That's how crazy I am. So recently I was watching Criminal Minds, and not to brag about me watching it, it's about you. And I was watching, and I do remember on season 16, episode 6, I was like, wait a minute, and there you are. So that's amazing. What was your character on Criminal Minds? And what can you tell the audience about it?
Yeah, so since that episode already came on, I could blabber about it all night. Like, so my character is the younger version of the main serial killer. Because there might be viewers out there who haven't seen it, I'm not gonna say too much, but there is, I mean, I'm the young version of the main serial killer. On that set, I met Bethany Rooney and so many other people. And yeah, so that was actually the thing that got me union. But yeah, I grow up to be a serial killer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because of an incident that I had where my parents died, and
Mm-hmm.
it could have something to do with me, but I'm not gonna say.
Right. No, you can't ruin it. But it's amazing because you got Joe, who played Mr. Rossi, David Rossi. You got AJ, who played Jennifer Jarrow. You have all these main character. Kristen, I'm so bad last name, but she was Penelope. And then you got Emily, who plays the agent on the show. You got all these people on the show, and then you were on Criminal Minds. Of course, I remember you laying in bed. I'm not going to explain the whole details. Not going to ruin the story, but how did you find out first, or how did you get the opportunity to audition for this role?
So ever since I signed with my manager and my team, Dreamscope Entertainment, they are a really hardworking team. They do everything they can and beyond to get any one of us to an audition, me, my brothers, or anyone else in Dreamscope. And I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say they work their butts off, like insanely every day. So really they're the main source of, I would say, the source of my auditions I get. So I just had an audition that came up for Criminal Minds. Of course, I love that show as well. So I geeked out and I was like, holy mom, I'm gonna be on Criminal Minds if I book this. So yeah, that led to a whole lot of doing the whole getting ready for the audition, memorizing, just really getting in tone with that character. So then I got a call back and I went to the callback, and I was hoping that I would get it. By then I was like, I walked into the room and I'm hoping that no one thought I was just like completely creepy because, I was like, so I'm pretty sure there were some people that were like, what the, but yeah, so then I booked it and went to wardrobe. It was super, super exciting. Right after wardrobe, I signed with union, and the rest is just, I went to set, it's had an amazing time, met Bethany Rooney, it's an amazing, amazing director. And I mean, the whole experience, like all the way I love my job personally. Like, I don't think I would ever want to give it up for anything. So yeah, no, I wouldn't. So when I got this job, I absolutely love the process from getting the audition all the way down to finishing on set. Obviously, when I leave set, it's not that happy, but yeah, I mean, I love what I do. So
That's good. And of course, where was it filmed at? Was it filmed in California?
yes, filmed here in California. It was at a Walt Disney's. So he has like this huge ranch
Mm-hmm.
that, and since it's Criminal Minds Disney, which you wouldn't expect, like I didn't know it was Disney personally, but yeah. So I filmed on the Walt Disney Ranch. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, and that was where we filmed the entire time.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Again, congratulations. I'm a big fan of Criminal Minds.
thank
But
you.
I watched it. I'm behind on Criminal Minds a little bit. I finally caught up to where you were in the scene. But I was like, wow, and but again, it's amazing that, like I said, you got to meet with all those people on the cast. And so did you get to meet Mr. Rossi? I say his character name, but I don't.
Unfortunately not. I wasn't, like a huge lead character like Mr. Rossi.
Mhm.
But so I didn't get to meet, I'm gonna go to all the names because that's, I can't remember their real names. I'm not the best with names as well.
Don't worry,
So,
I'm not either. I have to see them many times.
I mean, once I've seen it like a few times, then I'm fine. But like Penelope, I didn't get to meet them. I didn't get to meet Mr. Rossi
Right.
either. And so, I mean, it was, yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't get to meet them, but it was still a really cool experience.
I know, I don't blame you. It is, even though you didn't get to meet him, it was a wonderful experience. And so I just have to ask you, you were in the bed on Criminal Minds. I saw a little scene. Was it hot? Were you sweating? I mean, I don't know if there was air conditioner or it was, I mean,
It was definitely a hot day. We had a whole lot of water and whatnot on set, electrolyte and everything. But yeah, it wasn't too hot. They like in the scene I'm supposed to be eating that mac and cheese. I was thinking that they were gonna cut right there. So it was my first time eating in a film. So, I go like this and then I stop. And so I'm like looking around like this is awkward. So I stopped and I'm like, I'm sorry, was I supposed to actually eat that? And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I took a bite and they're like, you know what? Let's go faster, bigger. So, they have me scarfing down this thing, like put the plate to my mouth and scraping it in. But yeah, I mean, that was actually that same place is where I met Zach Gilford, who
mhm.
plays me, the bigger version of me, the scarier version of me. But yeah, I mean, it was super fun experience. Not that hot though. I wouldn't say that hot.
Right. But again, congratulations, of course, and congratulations for Roswell. And then the brother, you get to be with your brother on some of your acting scenes. Did you ever thought about, being on scene with your brother, or did you thought that was gonna be later on in life?
I always hoped that it would be closer. Unfortunately, so Darman was the first time, and so far it was the only time. But I got to work with my big brother, who's Rylan, in the I don't know what the name is right now. Darman switches up the names quite often, but last I saw was Kid Cheats in tournament using aimbot. And so I got to play with my big brother in that. My big brother played Terrence, who was the bad guy bully. And then I got to play actually with my little brother as well in that same one, but unfortunately, he was just background. So my big
Hmm.
brother was casted as Terrence. I was casted as the lead, and then my little brother, he was just on set. My family brought me and my big brother some Jamba Juice smoothies, and so we're talking about how it'd be super cool if all three of us were on. And so, I'm like looking, like nodding my head, like thinking over here. I'm like, huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. So then, I walk up to the director. I'm like, hey, is it okay if we give my little brother a role? And he's like, uh, what? And I'm like, well, I mean, would it be okay if my little brother was in the Dhar Man? He's like, what? Because he's like over here like not understanding whatsoever. And I'm like, could my little brother be in the shot in one of the shots, say like
Hmm.
have a line or something? And so he's like, yeah, I mean, sure, we can have him as like a background. I mean, we're a little short on background, so we can have him as a background, but all the lines are kind of like taken up. So, I was kind of bummed about that. But my little brother, I mean, he passes right by me. And so It was super cool. He made it. You could hardly see him because it's for a split second, but he made like this hilarious, funny face. But I mean, yeah, it was super fun to work with all my brothers.
Well,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I'm so happy for you guys. Now, what acting role have you found the most challenging and why?
Hey, you know, all roles are pretty challenging. They all challenge you in different ways. Some roles you connect to in certain, qualities of the character, and others with different qualities. So honestly, I honestly am having a hard time with this question. I would maybe say my role in my Christmas movie that's coming out. I can't say much about it. It is like super confidential right now. But yeah, maybe that role, because it was my first movie that I was actually like truly like a big part of. Yesterday was my first movie, and I had that small little beginning part, which I absolutely loved. I mean, I met everyone, so that was a really fun experience. But then I went on to book this Christmas movie, and that was really the first time I was truly like a big part of the film. So I would say that that was my most challenging.
Amazing. Well, I definitely have to have you back for your Christmas film later later on since you talked about it. How for you, what do you use or how do you help yourself to approach to get into character?
You know, for me, I have always been just super, super blessed. When it comes to acting, I pretty much like there's a certain zone that I just randomly switch to. Like there's some audition where I just won't, like I'm saying I care about it, but in my heart of hearts, I think I care about it, but I just, I if you gave me the choice between going and playing football with my brothers outside, I would pick that. So for me though, it comes pretty easily once I just snap into that. And the preparing for, things like that are just, really getting in tone with the character. They give you this little description of what the character is like,
Hmm.
says male portrayed as, 10 to 12, 13 to 14, things like that. And, super, uh, like loves fantasies, this, that. And so you really have to portray that into your character. But the main thing that a lot of people that I've met, like what they will do is they'll just try to portray it like that and exactly like that, which I mean it's what they're asking you to do, but for every character, what is a big thing to do for preparing is really making it into your own. Like if you have I've had auditions where, there's big loss and, a family member has died or something. And those things, although for me, I haven't had a whole lot of that. I have a sister, and she unfortunately passed away before I was born.
Hmm.
And so I always, I just get into tone with that, and I'm like, that's what I can connect to with this character, and that's what I'm gonna do to help. So, and honestly, it's a great way of honoring my sister. I get to use her as one of the best acting tools I have.
Wow. And again, I'm sorry about your sister's loss, but that is a good
Thank
point,
you.
and I always ask all my guests, how do you get yourself or how do you get your mind into character? And everybody has a different story. And yours is very touching. So thank you for sharing that. Means a
Of
lot.
course, of
Um,
course.
n- are you working on any current projects?
Currently, I have a few auditions as of right now, and just finished wrapping up a short film, which coincidentally was supposed to be with Kaden, but she went to Massachusetts. she went to Massachusetts for a different thing, which is bigger than like it's a huge role. It's a huge role for her. So I'm super excited for her. So yeah, I just finished wrapping up something called Suspended, where I play. Uh, well, I mean, it's a short film, and I'm in 5 pages of the 15. So I mean, 1/3 is pretty good for me. So
Yes, that's true. That's 100%. And by the way, yes, Kaden is in Massachusetts for a big role. Again, that's congratulations, Kaden. And yes, she's been posting a lot about it. I don't know how long she's in Massachusetts for, but a long time.
I believe she told me until Monday, next
Okay.
Monday.
Right, Monday. Um,
Yeah.
so yes, so you have upcoming roles. Of course, some of them you can't talk about it. But definitely I'll have you back so we can talk more about that, especially your Christmas film that you mentioned. So we have to talk about that. Now, what is your greatest strength as an actor as of right now?
Like I'm sorry, I'm not really understanding that. Like my greatest strength in my like as an actor.
Yes, as an actor.
Um, honestly, it would probably be. Uh, how do you come up with these questions? Like you ask some really intense and good questions.
I
I just have to
know.
say,
And then the follow-up question is, what is your greatest weakness as an actor?
hey, um,
So yeah, you have to answer those 2 questions. If you can't, I always can have you back, and you got to answer those somehow.
it's of course, yeah, of course. My greatest strength as an actor would maybe be, I'm not saying for sure, but maybe be just being able to get in tone with the character.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that's one of the biggest parts of acting, really getting in tone with the character. Because maybe no, maybe it's getting in tone with the character and then making it also as myself. Yes, that is it. I think.
I like how you moved
I
your hand. You know,
thank you.
you're welcome. So how about your weakness?
Um, my weakness would be I. Well, how's your day been?
My day's good, but I mean,
I, you know, as an actor, there's obviously, I wouldn't say weakness, but a lot of growing space in everything that I do. But I would say a weakness of mine that I definitely have to grow quite a bit on is like crying. Like I can tear up all day, but crying actually like getting to tear up to the point where it's, because when you're crying, it's like your eyes tearing up to the point of it's like right under your eye, full of water, so that a tear comes out. So actors who can do that, I feel, are very gifted in that sense. But yeah, I definitely have a lot of growing space on that. I used to be able to do that when I was younger. I was able to cry pretty well, but uh, as it goes on, if you don't practice things too much, they kind of go away. That's the same thing with crying. So,
so
sorry, real quick.
go ahead. The follow-up question is, so since you mentioned that, is it hard to get into character to cry?
Crying always kind of like I don't get nervous easy. I just never have. Like ever since I was little, I think it has something to do with just wanting attention all my life. Like I have attention. Like I have a lot of attention. Like I'm very blessed with my family, but just being the middle child, it's like if one of my brothers gets a compliment, although I don't although I don't mean it, I always am like, so what about me? So how'd I do in my picture,
Right,
So,
right.
just that attention and um oh dear. I started talking about attention and now I completely forgot what the question was.
No, it's about your tears. But,
Oh, yes. So yeah, so I don't really get nervous that easily. So, but when when I have to cry, I do get
mhm,
nervous. Like on Criminal Minds, when I was screaming and crying in the closet, that was really nerve-wracking for me. Um, but I got on set and I did it, which I'm proud of. You know, with every
yeah,
little thing I like to.
to bring that up, you said the closet. So was that really nervousing for you?
Oh yeah.
Are you very
Oh yeah.
as yourself, as not as a character, as a human being? Because each human being has a fear of something. So are you very claustrophobic when you're in a room that you like that small room? Like
It,
what I mean, you can go into little details.
it's funny that you said that. Yeah. So I was terrified. Like I thought they were gonna have like a door in there that was like open. Like they're gonna have it like this, and there's gonna be like a door open. But oh no, 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 no. They took four walls and they stood me in the middle and then closed them all in on me. And then they just had this like top that was like, I don't know how high up. I couldn't touch it if I jumped off the windowsill to try to touch it, but it was super high. And that was where they had it. They had it from above.
Uh-huh.
And so, I'm in there like all of a sudden I'm shivering because I'm claustrophobic. I used to not be, but I when I was young I got locked in like four different public bathrooms by myself. So that really got me claustrophobic. So when those doors closed, all of a sudden instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, I'm gonna be screaming in front of all these people. Oh no, what if I mess up? All of a sudden I'm thinking, this is where I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm like, I always thought I'd be old and gray, like
So
in a nice cozy bed.
did you really think to yourself out loud that this is the place you're gonna die?
Well, I mean, not out loud, but like in my head, I was like, "There- there's a tiny little crack there. Maybe they can squirt a bottle of water for me to eat all my life, and that's gonna be my food source, and I'm gonna have no light because we were, in a building, and then they put the walls in. So I was like,
Right.
no more sunlight for the rest of my days. This is
So
this is it.
you really thought to yourself, this is the place you're gonna die.
It was funny because after that, my first thought after that was, I'm gonna be called the closet actor because on all my films, if I'm ever booked for anything else, somehow, I'm gonna be filmed inside of a closet. So yeah, I mean, it was super nerve-wracking scene for me, but I have grown quite a bit with it. And, with every time that I get enclosed in something, it's always a little nerve-wracking, but I've definitely gotten better. There were times when I was younger that I wouldn't, if it was a small place, I would never lock the doors. I would never, sometimes I wouldn't even close the door.
Mhm.
Like there were times when I was like 6 years old or all the way up until I think I was 8 that I would have my big brother come to the bathroom with me and then I'd have him stand outside the door and uh, I would just have him wait there so that no one would come in because I wouldn't lock the door. I was petrified, horrified. I would not lock the door for the
Even
life of
now?
me. Now I've gotten better with it. Every time I hear that lock sound, the yeah, I like that sound always. I'm like, oh, you know, door's locked. I'm mindful, but yeah, which is why there's like whenever there's like a restaurant with like these like thin, flimsy doors.
Mm,
Like I mean, you lock them, but they're like thin and flimsy. I'm like, oh yeah, I can lock this. If I get locked in, I can break that door. That's.
right.
But I mean, same thing with the bathrooms. When I was younger, I would always think uh, once that door is closed, if I because my little brother once. So after the first time I got locked in, I was by myself. The second time was worse because I was with my little brother. So he's scared, and I'm looking. He's looking up to me to you know be there for him, and I'm like, I'm he's 2 years old and I'm over here, I'm 4. What am I supposed to do? So I told him not to lock the door. He locked the door, and I had the feeling, so that door locked and jammed. And uh, yeah, I mean,
How did you? Okay, time out. I'm sorry. How did you
no,
guys
it's
get?
fine, it's fine.
How did you guys get out? I mean, this is a sad but
See,
kind of funny story. I mean,
no, it's funny. Don't worry. Every time I tell it, I always laugh. But yeah, I mean, they had to get screwdrivers and a sledgehammer, and I
where was
have
this at?
various places. Like I said, 4 different bathrooms. One was in Colorado, one was just in the middle of nowhere in a desert. We were on a drive and we stopped at this restaurant. One was at a grand opening of a restaurant. I mean, yeah, but answering that question that you asked, you know, I have one person over here like getting the door handle open so that I could just see my mom right through that little hole where the door handle is. I mean, I hear my dad saying that if they don't get this door open, he's gonna bust it down. He was in the military, so he's a big, strong guy, and he's like, if you guys don't get this door open, I'll bust it down. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, there's little kids stuck in the bathroom. My little brother's crying. It was super overwhelming, and mind you, I'm
You
thinking,
you couldn't crawl underneath the hole?
no, it's because it was like one of those family restrooms, so it's just like that was all the restroom they
Oh
had.
yeah, the
So it
big
was
family. Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was just one of those big metal doors. So, like I said, all that noise is running through my head while all I'm thinking is I'm gonna survive on tap water for the rest of my life with my little brother. So I mean with my little brother, meaning that he's gonna grow up thinking food is tap water. Like if we ever get out of this, he's gonna come out, like 26 years old, and he's gonna be like, tap? It's tap time. I'm like, oh no. So, yeah, I mean, going back to the original question, if this answers it, yes, I am a little claustrophobic.
Hey, I don't blame you. I totally understand. I with you. Everybody has some fear. What do you believe is the most challenging aspect of being an actor?
Being an actor in general, I tell you, you are very talented with questions, like very. Um, the,
Thank you.
of course, for an actor, challenging aspect for an actor, it's you know I wanna keep everyone like who's gonna be watching and who's watching. I want to keep them all interested, but with all of this, it's kind of tied back to the same thing of just truly getting in tone with a character, and that will, at least to me, and for what I think, because I mean, it's just for me. Uh, I think that's what's the most hard because it's always going to be challenging.
Mm,
There's, so many different things, and sometimes there's characters that you truly just feel like, how am I supposed to connect to this character?
right.
There could be, for me, a hard one was he was orphaned. He was, like every day he was beaten, and he was running through the forest, scared, and there's a whole bunch of like chaos going around him, and I'm like, I am not that kid. I'm running through a forest, but like playing tag with my brothers or something. If I'm not running through the forest, I'm in high faction.
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
not, so but there's always something to connect to with the character, and that I feel like it's a hard thing to do because you just have to think of it and then you have to really hone it in, and there's quite a bit, but I think that would be the most challenging aspect for an actor.
Very true. I totally agree with you. Now, what is your short-term goal for you as being an actor? And then also, as another follow-up question is, what is your long-term goal? as an actor?
So my short-term goal so far, as of right now, is just, get some more credits on my name. Just honestly, I just love being on set. So anything that I'll, get put on set for is what I love. So my short-term goal is just to book more things, preferably, uh, lead in a big show, or I've always wanted to book something like the Harry Potter movies, like start off with just this really cool amazing idea, and then it takes me for years, and then I do acting for the fun of it, but then as well, it's something that completely provides for my family money wise, like financially. I mean, the Harry Potter, uh, what is his name?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe. Thank you.
You can't believe you forgot his name.
Yeah, I can't honestly. I truly can't believe I forgot his name. But uh, yeah, he by the end of everything, in all, he made $97 million just on Harry Potter, and I'm like, that is a role that provides for his family.
Right. And
So
it's
a
amazing. The
role,
film. Have you seen Harry Potter, by the way?
of course, of
All
course,
of
of
it, right?
course.
It's amazing. Harry Potter
I really enjoyed
it's
it.
wonderful. I love Harry Potter. But I'm sorry, continue what you're saying.
Yeah, all I was saying was just like this super, super amazing idea that spirals into, you know, quite a bit more things.
Mhm.
And then, you are on set all the time, you're happy, and, you're financially completely stable.
Yeah.
Not just you, your family. And that is something that I really love with like acting. I would do 100% for free. Like if acting wasn't an actual job, like if it was just like this thing that you do for fun, I would absolutely do it. But the fact that acting pays is what uh, I is something that I really enjoy, because ever since I learned that it pays, I've always had a dream of financially making, providing for my family. My dad, he dreams about having a supercar, and every day I'm like, one day I'm gonna book a role that's so big, and I'm gonna be able to buy my dad, uh, you know, uh, this car. I have this picture in my head of a Christmas where everyone has these nice gifts, and there's one gift left under the tree from me to my dad, and it's this small little box, and he opens the bow on it, he opens the box, and it's just these car keys, and he's like, what is this? And so we take him out to the garage, and there it is, his supercar, whatever supercar he is at that point. As of right now, it's a Lambo Urus, because he would love to take us around in it, and most supercars are two-seated. But as of right now, that's what I was hoping to get. I'm hoping that I book a role that I can get him that. I just want to make my family happy.
And that's true. And everybody wants to make their family happy. And I can tell for you, from hearing from you, you are a big family person, and that's amazing. So, and
That's
I go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's the fun thing, that's what I love about acting is I am making my family happy while doing what makes me happy.
Mhm.
So I mean, if that's not perfect, then I truly don't know what is.
That's true. That is 100% true. Now, what role, or if any role, deeply effectively affected you or changed you in perhaps changed you in a permanent manner?
Again, would have to be that Christmas movie. Unfortunately, can't say
I
too
know
much,
you can't talk about it. Yes.
but that was again the movie that just really started me with a big role. So that was the movie where I learned, most of the acting things that I do now. There are little, tricks that I learned there, and I mean, honestly, yeah, that would probably be the place, 100%.
Wow. I
Place and
can't
time.
wait to have you back to talk about your personal growth and your other future films. And I'm serious about that. So anyways, back
Thank
I was
you.
trying to my question. Do you have any funny or interesting stories behind the scenes or during on set you can talk about on Criminal Minds or Roswell? So one of those two, do you have anything interesting or funny?
So I have this really high pitched scream. Like ever since I was little, I've always had this high pitched scream. Like my mom was convinced for a little bit that I was an alien. Like whoa, I keep on saying like. Sorry. Um, but she always thought I was an alien or something with how much like there I go again with the sound that I can go to when I'm screaming. So, and then I can hold it. But so when I was doing the Criminal Minds, I had to scream, and they said, scream as loud as you can. And I'm like, you sure? I'm pretty loud. And they're like, yeah, because I'm a boy. So they're expecting me to be like, ah. But oh, no. I screamed and I, I remember really, really intensely Bethany Rooney, who was the director, she looks at me and she goes, stop. That's enough. And so she starts covering her ears and then everyone bursts out and laughing. And I'm like, embarrassed, but at the same time I'm laughing. And so it was super fun. But yeah, that was a funny thing for me at least. But honestly, there is most sets, there's so many different funny things that happen. So I can't truly, if we talked all night about this, I couldn't get through them all. But yeah, I mean, that's just one of the many.
Right. How about about anything funny on Roswell?
Everything was funny on Roswell. If we weren't filming, even when we were filming, there was just times where we would just film and everyone would just goof off just because, we had all day, so why not? So um there was one time on Roswell, two times actually for two different people, but so we were going, so Rick Bakewell, his birthday was soon, and Caden's birthday had just passed. So, we're all planning this super surprising thing where we sing to Rick Bakewell. Caden's in on it, everyone's in on it. And so the last thing of the day, someone who was there, she says, the last thing of the day, I want everyone to just look at me. When I call action, everyone just immediately sing happy birthday to Rick. So then, Caden goes off, and then she comes up to me and she's like, by the way, we're singing to Caden. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, we're over there and she's like, all right, everyone, and action. And so we're all like, happy birthday to, and then, Caden goes, Rick, and then everyone like sees Caden and start coming towards her. And she's like looking, she looked scared for a second. I was like super confused. She was like looking around like, why is everyone coming at me? And then she heard that we were singing Caden and a cake came from behind. And honestly, it was just super fun and funny, and amazing moment. And Caden had a piece of cake on set. So
That's amazing. That's a wonderful surprise, birthday surprise. And how long did it take to film Roswell?
for
How many
me,
days?
yeah, for me, it was in all, like how many days, I can't exactly remember. I would say more days than a week, obviously, maybe more days than 2 weeks, but uh I can't honestly remember. But if I had to guess, I'd probably say, you know 14 to 16 days for
And
me
this
on
does
set.
this does this include weekends as well or not weekends?
Honestly, it was just on. It was off and on with whatever. And again, I'm I'm a kid, so if I exaggerated with how much I was on set, I apologize. But yeah, I mean, I truly can't remember, but
Right.
it felt like a long time. It was super fun.
That's amazing. Again, congratulations on Criminal Minds and Roswell. Um, now,
Thank
for
you.
you, as you know,
Mhm.
as a young actor, how, especially you can probably speak for your brothers, how do you work around your schedule from audition to acting and school and homework? How do you work around that?
So, I for me first, not my brothers first, for me first, uh, with school, I'm pretty gifted because of the school system in Colorado. When I was in Colorado, they were super ahead of the school system. So I learned stuff in preschool that I was supposed to be learning in first grade. And then same thing with kindergarten and things in second grade, first grade, third grade, that's how things were. So this year, then we came to California and they're like the regular. And so this year, all three of my brothers, we're all homeschooled. So we have a 30-minute meeting at 9:30. Well,
Mhm.
me and my little brother, and then my big brother has a meeting from, no, at 8:30, sorry. My big brother from 9:30 to 10. And then we just have schoolwork that they send, and we just fill it out and then send it in all on the computer. And for me, since it's fifth grade math, but I'm, since it's a Colorado thing, doing like eighth and ninth grade stuff, I pretty much breeze through it real quickly, so it's not a big bother for me. But my big brother, has a lot more homework, and he likes to be ahead. So there's days where he'll have like you know 30 assignments, and my little brother, he'll have 20 assignments. And so it truly just comes down to how much. But for me, I didn't have too much. At most, I think I had 18 assignments a day, and so pretty much really easy breezy for me. But yeah, my little brother, big brother, they had it a little longer with schoolwork. But honestly, auditions, uh, we hope that they would come every day, but unfortunately they don't. So there are some weeks where we don't even like we don't. There's some weeks, and sometimes I think there was a month where we didn't even get an audition. And so and now with this writer's strike, there's a lot more. But yeah, I mean, school for now, we're on summer, so that's good. But we honestly are able to navigate quite through it quite easily though, with just breaks and being at home. It's a lot more, I would say, easier to just focus on different things. Like you switch to something a lot easier because in school you're actually sitting down. I mean, I love being in school, but in school you're sitting down. You if you're hungry, you can't just get up and go get a snack. Like, so that's the huge difference with homeschool and actual school. So uh, I think what I'm trying to say here, which I'm making insanely long, I'm sorry about that, but
No, it's okay.
what I'm trying to say is we're all homeschooled, and being homeschooled makes it definitely a lot easier.
Right. That's good. Now you're the middle child, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Right. Now, and so how old is your older brother?
He just turned 15.
And you're
Younger brother is 9.
right. I was talking about your age too.
Oh, my age.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm 11.
And then your younger brother. Okay.
Yes,
So
9.
now of course for you, you grew up, and you can correct me, you grew up in Colorado.
Yes, until I
And
was
then from there you went to uh Oregon or Seattle. And please correct
Oregon.
me.
Yes,
Okay.
Oregon. I went to Eugene. Eugene.
And then so you, of course, you were in Colorado until you were age 5, and then you went to Eugene, and then that's where you became interested in becoming an actor. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
correct?
Yes, sir. I started when I was 7. Um, my mom was in the business like as a model and she loved it. So either way, there was, if we liked it or not, there was gonna be a way that we at least get into one
And then
acting
when,
class.
pardon me,
Yeah,
when you were 7 years old, that's where you got your first, you landed your first lead role.
yes, lead role.
Is that a lead? Yeah, you played is that a lead role, or could you correct me?
Yeah, no, so I was, that was when I was on the Kia commercial and, Yes Day. My first lead role was when I was 9 on the
Okay, I'm
family.
sorry, I was wrong. I was 2 age wrong. But yes, that's where you got your lead role. And so back to my question is, what made you interested to be an actor? Was there something you saw on TV, or was it something, what was their interest? Because for a young person, we live our life to like, oh, we want to go play football, or we want to talk about, oh, I want to be the next Tom Brady, for example. I want to win the Heisman,
Yes.
or I want to be I'm a big Warriors fan, Golden State Warriors, but I want to be the next Stephen Curry. You have all this. So a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I want to play basketball or sports. But for
I mean,
you, what made you like say, this is it, I want to be an actor?
well, honestly, I like quite a bit of things. I mean, even now, I love football. Absolutely love it. Why am I orange?
Oh, no,
Is it
yeah.
coming through? Is it coming through on your side that I'm orange?
No.
Okay, that's weird. On my side, I look completely
Well,
orange.
maybe just a little bit, but no, it's not bad, I promise.
Thank you. But yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, I love sports, but like I said, my mom, she wanted us to get into the business one way or another, just like to feel how it is. She wouldn't obviously push us to be in it too much, but she just wanted us to feel how it is. And me being the attention-loving middle child that I am, at first it was like, it was fun. I got to go up and just act out some weird scenes that I wanted to act out. Then, from there I went to IMTA, which stands for International Models and Talents Association.
Hmm.
And from there, that's where I met my manager. And after that, I got the audition for Yes Day, and shortly after booked it, which I'm super blessed and happy about. So, and then I got onto set, and there was like, I had makeup people coming, like art, and they were like tying back, and then there was this wardrobe, and I was like, this is the attention that I want, So I'm over here like smiling like this, and so I'm like, makeup, oh makeup. I think I got a little dirt on my cheek. Yeah. And then so, they're like all laughing and whatnot. And I'm like over here like, oh yeah. So and then the camera, everything. So that was when I really started wanting to be an actor. And then from there I just fell in love with the actual business itself.
That is amazing story background.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, what is your advice for someone who, what is your advice for someone who is younger than you, or inspiring, an actor and actress who inspiring to be an actor where you are, or trying to become an actor? What is your advice for someone who wants to do it and want to pursue into acting? What is your advice for them?
Always remember that unless you're born into this huge, super famous family, everyone starts off the exact same. So if there's someone that they look up to, as an actor, if they might have been born into a super famous family, but if they weren't, then they also started out just like everyone else, just someone who wanted to be an actor or an actress. So always remember that, and honestly listen to yourself, listen to your heart. If someone's telling you that you can't do something or you're not good at something, it's up to you to believe them or not. My advice would be not to.
Right.
Face your dreams and do what makes you happy.
Right. 100% true. I totally agree with you. And again, congratulations on Criminal Mind, and of course Roswell.
Thank you
But
so much.
were you one of my last question is, were you nervous being on set on Criminal Minds?
Oh,
Knowing
absolutely.
it was a big, the reason I'm asking you, because it's season 16, if I'm correct, what I was trying to remember, but
Yes.
it's so many seasons of Criminal Minds. The main characters on there. Criminal Minds is still going on, still this day. So, for you as a young actor, for any actor, especially for me, were you nervous being on a show that's been going on for a long time?
Absolutely. I mean, Criminal Minds is a show. Like I said, I don't get nervous easily, but like it's a huge show. So obviously, you're gonna have little nerves with everything you go on. There's no choice about it. Um, but yeah, Criminal Minds, I was super nervous about, these huge names and this, huge set, and everything was like I had my own trailer. I was like, what? For those times when I wasn't on set, I had my own trailer. I had everything. I had art, anything, truly anything. And so I walked onto set knowing that I would have to scream and whatnot, cry. But it was truly, truly just more exciting. And that's the funny thing. I think that's what, because everyone has nerves. I think it's just um, what makes it to where I don't get nervous as easy is I like to think of it more as excitement, because
Mhm.
excitement and nervous is basically the same thing. It's how you portray it is what you're gonna say you're feeling. So if someone asks you if you're nervous, you can say yes or no, excited or nervous, either or. So um, yeah, obviously I'm gonna be nervous. I'm going on to set, it's screaming in front of people. Uh, I mean, as a kid, it's really nerve wracking. Obviously, when you're older, it might not be as much,
Mhm.
but for me, it was a lot more nerve wracking than I would say a usual person would feel. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, I was nervous.
Well,
Sorry, I'm blabbered quite a bit.
no, you're okay. I appreciate it. Thank you. And did you watch Criminal Minds, or you never watched Criminal Minds, or have you?
When I was younger, I used to watch it. Then I kind of fell off of that because we do this thing where we're allowed 2 hours of screen time a day, one movie or two episodes or something, or like that's an hour long episodes or something like that. So, uh, and Criminal Minds was an hour long, and I like action and comedy type things. And they're just, even now there's some episodes where I'm like, oh, 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 I'm like, turn it off, So, there's some tear jerkers and whatnot, but yeah, so I kind of fell off of watching it for a little bit until I got the audition. I was like, let's watch it again. So we started it from the beginning, and obviously we finish it all the way up because that's like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Right. There's so many seasons and episodes until now, but and it's just, again, I have to say it again, congratulations, and your parents they were in shock and proud of you for being on Criminal Minds. They're like, wait, you're on Criminal Minds. So,
I mean,
it's just like you have to watch it, right? Now
I
you have to continue watching it.
Yeah, we continue watching it. But going back to what you were saying was like the parent thing. I'm really truly like honestly truly blessed with the parents that I have. They always look for the best for me, and they're real for me. They bring me up very real and aware. So if there's a certain audition that they just think I didn't do the best on. They're not going to be like, "Oh yeah, you did great," because I feel like saying that is kind of it's not helpful at all, because then they're going to start thinking that that's the right thing to do, which it's not. They didn't do great, so my parents are like, "I think you turned in a pretty good audition, but you could have done better. You didn't prepare
Mhm.
as much this time." So they bring me up very very real, but they're very, very supportive of me, my brothers, and whatever we do. If and they're not parents that like push us to be actors. They push us to our limits with what we want to do. Like, I want to be an actor, so they help me absolutely completely. I love my parents to the moon and back, and over and over and over again. But they, if we ever wanted to stop acting, they ask us every year, they ask us at the beginning of the year, is acting still something you want to do? And if we say no, they tell us that that's completely fine, because it's truly what we want to do. So as of right now, for me, that's not going to happen. But as of right now, I can't say for my brothers, because I'm not them. But as of right now, it's not looking like they want to stop acting anytime soon either. So
That's
yeah, I mean,
amazing.
like I said, super, super supportive family, loving, and I couldn't ask for a better family, truly.
And I'm good. Again, I'm so happy that you're continuing your acting career. When I had you on my show last time, you were on Dhar Man, and here you are. You're on Roswell, you're on Criminal Minds. Again, in my opinion, that's a big role. Criminal Minds, national TV, everybody talks about it. It's on Netflix, it's on Hulu, I believe. And so, Criminal Minds has just been going on for episodes and episodes and episodes. It's just for you to be on there. I mean, amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And of course, I can't wait to have you back on my show. Of course, you mentioned a couple of roles that you can't talk about. Unfortunately, I was hoping, but your Christmas film that's coming out, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about the film that you're going to have with Miss Caden that's been postponed. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about other roles that you're going to be working on. So there's a couple of films I got to have you back on my show to talk about that. So I'm so excited. And I'm going to ask you this quick question about this Christmas film. Is it coming out in December? Can you just say yes or no?
So we're trying to get it to come out in November, but yeah, sometime they said around Christmas time, but they're trying November. And since you're so hooked on this whole Christmas thing, I'll tell you all that I can. It's a Christmas family feature film, and it's really like a Christmas thriller type of thing. And there are multiple leads. It's not, one of those, there's one main person type things. And it is definitely something to snuggle up in a nice warm blanket with the lights off. And, maybe since it's going to be Christmas time, only leave your Christmas tree lights on. And it's definitely a movie to watch with everything. And then there's definitely it's definitely a movie to have a snack with, like popcorn or something. And I mean, it's an amazing movie. I got to go to an ADR session recently for it, and I saw some of the effects that they put on it. So it looks super good. So for all of your watchers and you to hopefully you too, is definitely a movie that I think you would be really,
Wow.
really pleased with.
And of course, we'll talk more about it later on, but I'm so happy to talk a little details about it. And again, congratulations on that role. Yeah, of course, can't talk a lot about it. I know that, but later on we can talk more about it. And of course, thank you again coming on my show. You're always welcome back on my show. I'm always looking forward to having you back on my show. And
always looking forward to coming.
yes, I'll let you know. Please, always welcome back. And of course, congratulations on Roswell. Let me
Thank you
know
so much.
yes, please let me know when that's coming out. And of course, Criminal Minds that you were on is out. So again, congratulations on that role as well. So, and then
Thank you so
and I
much.
know I said that was my last question, but one more is how did your siblings, your brothers, did they know you were on Criminal Minds, or did you just surprise them by turning on the TV at that time when Criminal Minds was being aired, and they're like, "Whoa, there's my brother," or did you tell them?
No, we this family we always like we tell each other everything. So they knew, and my brothers are also very supporting. So they were all like, "Wow, that's super cool. Good for you." Excuse me.
Don't joke. I mean,
I just inhaled a whole lot of dust. I don't some something over there. There's a little desk thing over there, and something just fell down. I don't know why, but it blew dust everywhere, and I just breathed a lot of it in. So sorry about that, but yeah, we tell each other everything, and so they super supportive. They knew, and it's yeah. I mean, it's something they definitely knew, and I think that would be super cool though if we just randomly surprised them. I've definitely had my thoughts of like if I ever got something that's big enough for me to get my dad, the supercar that he wants, or my mom a yacht that she wants, or a beach house that I know we all want. So
same
if I
here.
ever got something like that, me and my mom would know, and then we'd be like, "Hey, we're gonna go, do this," and then we'd come back, and I mean, something, just something, and then randomly turn it on, and we're like,
Right.
"Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you," you know.
Well, that's
So yeah, I've had my thoughts about that, but yeah, we tell each other everything. So yes, they did know.
that's good. Again, congratulations. I saw the episode of Criminal Minds. You did amazing, by the way.
Thank you so much.
I shouldn't say amazing, fabulous. It was
Thank
just
you.
yeah, it's nice. I know the closet you were talking about. I'm very claustrophobic as well, but you're very welcome. Congratulations on Roswell and Criminal Minds and your future films. That I will can't wait to have you back on my show to talk about it. And thank you for coming on. We'll stay in touch, and I can't wait to have you back.
I can't wait to be back. Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome. You have a good night, Mr. Romyn.
You too.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Of course. Bye.